La da da, la da dee. Can we share? Hello, hello. Huh? Wait for everyone to get here. Hello, Sasha. Hello, JF. Looking forward for my friend Dahmer. Is that... No, I don't understand that. I'm sorry. Zach Hayes, welcome. It's going good. How about you? Sharing the stream right now on Facebook. Ooh. Let's see. Not bad. Nose is a little red? Okay. I'll make a note of it. Maybe, yeah. Should watch that. Keep an eye on that. Oh, new movie biopic about Jeffrey Dahmer, JF. Oh, my friend Dahmer. Interesting. Gotcha. Movies for life. Hey, Henry, currently tuned in from Amsterdam, eating some local weed brownies. Sounds like you're having a good time. Glad you could join us. It's kind of hard to talk with that on. Ooh, stream's looking a little rough. That's okay. Weather is not too good right now. It's been raining. It's been windy. I've been hearing thunder and lightning at night. So hopefully that doesn't mean the stream is going to drop out. Hopefully we can keep it going, keep it on. But just so you know, if we do lose it, yeah, okay, rain just started. If we do lose it, that's probably the reason, is the weather. If we haven't lost it already, I'm still trying to share on Tumblr right now. Kind. And okay, sure. Good enough. All right, there we go. That's all good. All taken care of. Jack, welcome. Oh, Sasha, did you see the video I made about a live commentary of The Exorcist? Next Saturday. Clash with your stream, but may like to be a part of it? Yeah, sure. I can tune in. Or, yeah, join in with that whenever I can. Don't know when you're starting it, but yeah, maybe I can catch beginning or the end, something. Yeah, absolutely. Shoot me an email, and maybe when I get a chance, yeah, I can jump in on that. Absolutely. I'm going to do, hopefully before October is over, I'd like to do a Henry Recommends video on The Exorcist. I'm getting into those videos. I'm enjoying them. I can do them quick. I can do them easy, you know, write one in less than an hour, just keep it to a page. I can shoot it in 10 minutes, edit them in less than an hour, and get videos up. So yeah, I'm liking that. And like getting videos finished like inspires me to do more editing on like Unmade Masterpieces and stuff. So the new episode of Unmade Masterpieces is coming along much more quickly than it has been the last few months. So that's good too, right? I'm hoping to have the first part of the new Unmade Masterpieces finished before the end of the month. That's the ideal. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Every time I make a deadline, I never seem to be able to make it. But that's the goal. Before the end of the month is to have the first part of Dune finished. It's coming along, though. It's coming along. And yeah, I'm just getting more inspired, like doing the shorter videos and everything, getting more stuff out there. It's fun. It's nice to actually, yeah, get things finished quickly and get it out there. Let's see. Eddie Moriarty. Welcome. Hey, people. Man, I keep missing these streams live. Glad to catch one live again. Welcome. Glad to have you. Ooh, boy. Knock one what? Thoughts on Harvey Weinstein? That's a tough question. Is that how I want to begin this stream? I don't know. Maybe ask me a little later. We're still kind of getting into it. That's a heavy topic to try and tackle like right away. And yeah, I guess tackling a topic like that too, I'm worried I might say something stupid or that might be misinterpreted or yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one. It's a really touchy subject. So I don't know, maybe try a little later once I've kind of gotten warmed up a little bit. But yeah, I'm not quite sure how to tackle that one. So I apologize. Oh, JF talking about my friend Jeffrey, if that was what it was called. Yeah, it was at the beginning here. My friend Dahmer, that's what it was called. It's about when Jeffrey Dahmer was in high school. It's based on a graphic novel by a guy who went to school with him. That sounds interesting. Let me see if I can find my watch list here. I'm gonna write that down. My friend Dahmer. I'll have to try and keep an eye out for that one. Friend. Okay. Let's see if I can catch that one. So yeah, this is Videodrone. Welcome, all of you. Oh, sounds like my cat wants to join us. Let him in. Hello. Hey, I'm DisRegarding Henry. Yeah, we're here talking about movies. I'm gonna try. You okay? It's a new house. Cat's still not used to it. He's freaking out at everything. But yeah, I'm gonna try and see if I can get through the chat more efficiently here. Yeah, let's see here. Okay, let me see if I can, because I'm thinking like I'm just gonna kind of let the chat carry me along, not try to answer absolutely everything. If you have questions like specifically meant for me that you really want me to address or or a comment or something that you want me to see or mention, if you could put my name in there, the at DisRegarding Henry creates the nice like orange bar, so it grabs my attention. So if you have like, yeah, questions or comments specifically directed at me, if you could put that in your comment, my name in there, so I know what I should be looking at and what I should be reading, I think that would help me out. So if you guys could do that, I think that would allow me to get through the chat a little more efficiently. Hello. Just want to try that this week. And yeah, we're talking about, I got the two films selected, a new Stephen King adaptation that I watched on Netflix, and The Big Sick, which is a movie that I've been hearing a lot about, that's been getting a lot of acclaim, and I saw it, and it's pretty good. So we're going to talk about those and whatever else comes up. Glad everyone could join us. What do we got going on right now? Eddie Moriarty. Henry, you're killing it recently with your new vids. Really liking the Henry Recommends. Thank you. Thank you very much. The interviews, Mega Movie Monday. Really glad you did Ravenous. One of my favorite movies ever. Hey, thank you so much. Glad to hear that. Knock on what? Larry Clark or Harmony Korine? I don't know. I like them both a lot. Maybe Harmony Korine. I feel a bit more drawn to his work, but I also really dig Larry Clark. I just recently rewatched Clark's, what was it, his second movie, Another Day in Paradise? That was on Amazon, I think, Amazon Prime or Showtime app. I forget which one. I watched it on one of my brother's things. That's a great movie, the one with James Woods and Melanie Griffith. Really good, really underrated. Most when you talk about Larry Clark, you tend to talk about kids, or maybe Bully, maybe Ken Park, if you've seen it. Another Day in Paradise doesn't really get the love it deserves, but that is a great movie. It really is. Really raw and gritty. To me, it has all of the finest characteristics of a great Larry Clark movie. That's a good one. If you're a fan of Larry Clark, you haven't seen Another Day in Paradise, that's really one worth checking out. It's terrific. James Woods is fantastic. Wow, what just an implosion of paranoia that performance is. He's great in it. Let's see. Owen Moore, please do a Blu-ray collection video whenever you can. It would probably be best if I did that before I moved to Portland, because I don't know if I'm going to bring my entire collection with me. So maybe I might have to do that fairly soon. We'll see. Knock one what? Lars von Trier or Gaspar Noé? That's even harder. I don't know. Gaspar Noé is pretty good. Maybe I'd go with Lars von Trier. I don't know. But Lars von Trier, you know, he's done more movies. Gosh, it's a tough one. I'm really bad at like ranking, you know, and yeah, viewing it like a competition. That's a tough one. Maybe Lars von Trier though. I think von Trier, yeah, he's really at the level of like a cinematic titan at this point. But Gaspar Noé is also incredible, unbelievable. But I guess I'm more consistently engaged by Lars von Trier's work. But again, you know, he just has more movies out there than Gaspar Noé. That's tough. I don't know. They're both great, though. Let's see. Zach Hayes, I like the recommendation so far. And to see more content by you. Hey, cool. Whoa, it jumped me ahead. So, okay, I'm not too far behind. I think I can stay caught up with this. Zach Hayes, really like The Big Sick. Glad you got to see it and hear your thoughts. Yeah, I'll talk about that one in just a second. Oh, boy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Easy now. What are you doing? What are you doing? All right, hold on. Don't get into my coffee. Sorry, few technical difficulties. Kurt Denter. Ooh. Yeah, the only thing that really angers me about the Weinstein thing is that Tarantino now says he knew, but he didn't do anything. Yeah, because his own career could have been affected by it. Yeah, I mean, it's the scandal that just keeps growing. Come on, I'm trying to talk serious issues right now, and you're sitting on my keyboard. Yeah, there you go. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the right thing to say about this whole issue is. Obviously, it's horrible. Clearly it's horrible. Yeah, unfortunately, this is, you know, not the first time something like this has happened in the industry, tragically, and it's probably not going to be the last time. But I guess if I can say anything positive about it, hopefully, you know, this particular scandal is rocking the industry in such a significant way that maybe it will inspire some genuine changes. Thank you for that. I'm trying to be serious right now. I'm trying to make real points, you know, about a serious subject, but he's not letting me. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry about that. But yeah, it's an ugly issue. It really is. And the fact that it's been going on for so long, and yeah, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger every day. You know, there's more details. It's a really ugly piece of business. Very sad. Very, very sad. Hey, come on. Those are my notepads. I need those. Don't claw those. What else we got here? Oh my God. Let's see. Jack, I'd love to see more interviews like the one you did last week. Really enjoyed that. Hey, right on. I'm doing one today. We're going to do the stream. We're going to do the old stream right now. And then we're going to take a break for about an hour. And then I'm going to come back around 5 p.m. That's Pacific Standard Time, my time. We're going to do another interview. John Woodard is the guest today. He's actually one of my old colleagues, friends from film school. Been a while since I talked to him. I'm sure that'll be interesting. Zach Hayes, I've heard pretty good things about Gerald's game. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah, we're talking about Tarantino. Gosh, I don't know how much I really want to focus on this because yeah, it can. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, what to say about that. And I just kind of feel like I should keep the focus more on just talking about movies. I honestly don't feel the best, like I'm the best equipped person to really be talking about like industry issues like this and really heavy topics like that. The way some people exploit their power in Hollywood, it's horrible. And I got a cat that is just taking the piss out of everything right now and causing chaos. So I feel like this just isn't the right environment to be talking about a topic like this that really deserves seriousness and careful, considered thought. He just doesn't want this to happen right now. So I apologize for that. Kitty, yes, thank you, Kurt Denter. But what else do we got here? Oh, disregarding Henry. Sasha, whoa. You ever, whoa. Where am I now? Okay. Just sent you an email with the video, which started the interest in the live commentary. Are you guys doing it right now? Or are you doing it, is it going on right now? I'm sorry, I might have misread your comment. I thought it was like next week or something. But if it's today, yeah, I'll try to tune in or I'll try to jump in there for a little bit. But yeah, I got an interview I'm doing too. But what else we got? Movies for Life. Dude, I wouldn't keep your email so public. Last week I signed my college. So you're telling me you're going to be using my email for nefarious purposes? Okay. Well, thank you for at least letting me know. I'll know if I start getting pornographic magazines, I'll know who to thank for that. Hey, LJ, welcome. Glad you could join us. JF, Lars von Trier's The House That Jack Built, coming next year. Very excited. Absolutely. Really excited for that one. Here it's going to be crazy. Really messed up. Which, can you expect anything less from Lars von Trier? The only thing I'm wondering is his last movie was a 2-part, 5-hour pornographic epic. How the hell do you top that? What can The House That Jack Built do that he hasn't already done already? How could he possibly top Nymphomaniac? But we'll see. Can never take Lars von Trier for granted. That guy's just a force. That's what I admire about him. Think of him what you will. Love him, hate him, admire him, whatever. I think he's certainly not somebody that leaves you indifferent, which you have to respect, right? Even if you don't enjoy his work. Whoa, what are you doing now? Let's see. Sasha saw Baby Driver on Blu-ray last week and just loved it. Hey, I'm glad to hear that. Really glad to hear that. Edgar Wright did a single audio commentary plus one with cinematographer Bill Pope, too. Can't wait to hear them. Edgar Wright's commentaries are always really fun. That guy's such a movie geek. They're always really enjoyable commentaries. He's a really funny guy, too. I've been watching a lot of Trailers from Hell. Anybody who doesn't know that YouTube channel, absolutely subscribe to that channel. It's run by Joe Dante, the director of Gremlins, Looney Tunes Back in Action. What else did he do? Inner Space, really underrated one with Dennis Quaid and Martin Short. The Howling, the werewolf movie. Yeah, he's got a lot of really terrific movies in his oeuvre, and he runs a website called Trailers from Hell. If you haven't heard of it, it's like old movie trailers with commentaries by filmmakers, industry people, and Edgar Wright has done a bunch on there, and they're always really good, really fun, entertaining. Guillermo del Toro's done some, Eli Roth, Joe Dante, John Landis. It's a great site and a YouTube channel. Subscribe to it, watch some of their stuff. I've been watching a ton of those videos lately and really enjoying them. Zach Hayes, have you ever seen the YouTube channel Film Riot? They do interesting videos about doing film effects, among other interesting things. I've never seen Film Riot, but if I can figure out, just tossed my pads everywhere. But I'll write that down, Film Riot. All right, thank you. Try to give that a look though. What? Oh no, I didn't hear this about Bjork. Yeah, I haven't read anything about this. I know she didn't really enjoy working on what was the movie they did? Dancer in the Dark. But yeah, I didn't know about any of these abuse accusations. And And yeah, since I don't know anything about it, yeah, I'm reluctant to comment on it again because I just don't feel like I'm the best person to really be tackling these issues. Yeah, just don't want to say the wrong thing, you know, because it's such a touchy, serious subject. You know, I don't want to inadvertently make light of it or say the wrong thing or anything like that. You know. Movies for life. By the way, because it's currently the holiday, talking about the magazines, man. Okay, LJ. Oh yeah, people losing their jobs, harassment. Yeah, it's an industry-wide shakeup. Hopefully that means things are changing, you know, and the things that typically got swept under the rug, you know, are now no longer going to be permitted. That's my hope, is that things do get better, because yeah, it's been such a seismic shakeup, you know, going on with the whole Weinstein scandal. So I just hope, you know, it allows for some changes to be made for the better, and you know, things that people used to be able to get away with, they will no longer be able to, and hopefully it stops happening. You know, that's the hope, of course. It's just don't want to see people get exploited and abused. That's, yeah, just one of the awful, like, hidden secrets of the movie industry. And you know, not everybody in the industry is a predator, but unfortunately some are, and yeah, hopefully they will no longer be protected by the industry. That's the hope. But yeah, it's just horrible. Yeah, depressing. Volstix, welcome though. That's some good news. Volstix is here. Hello. And Cinnamon San, welcome. What else we got? Zach Hayes. Alicia Malone does interesting videos on indies, new and old. She goes to all the festivals, so I trust her opinion. I think you should check her out. She has a book on women in film. Interesting. That's a name I'll write down. Alicia Malone. Alicia Malone. Another name I am not familiar with, but it's written down. I'll try to look it up. Get my pads back in order, my notepads. Doesn't look like they're too damaged. Oh, LJ, Alicia Malone is awesome at what she does. Cool. Glad to hear it. Oh, Zach Hayes, the commentaries are real good for Baby Driver. Yeah, the Edgar Wright commentaries are always good. Let's see, movies for life. Saw 2049, Blade Runner 2049 for a second time last week with my girlfriend. Had to try my best to act as if I wasn't having a full-on existential crisis afterwards. That would be a trippy date movie. It really would. Because like basically the whole film is about the nature of human emotion and love. You know, really asking, like, are emotions real? Are they just a construct? You know, are we just programmed to feel a certain way? Can we really know, you know, what we feel or what the truth of our emotions really are? I think that is like the ultimate theme of that movie. What is love? And what are emotions? Are they real, or are they just some kind of illusion? And I think what love really means to humans as individuals. So yeah, seeing it with a girlfriend, that's got to be trippy. You got to be wondering, am I Ryan Gosling? Am I just imagining things that aren't really there? That's gonna, yeah, I could see why it would put you in that headspace. Movies for life. Damn, how come Sasha gets to be called by his name? Very jealous. Well, tell me your name, Movies for Life. I'll start using it. No problem there. What else we got? What else we got? Movies for life. Oh yeah, second viewing of Blade Runner really hit me like a train. First time around was also insanely powerful. I still need to get around to seeing Blade Runner a second time. I really want to. I want to do a Henry Recommends video on it, try and get some more people to see it. Because yeah, I just keep reading stuff like, oh, Blade Runner, bombing at the box office, Blade Runner, yeah, just getting beat by all these other movies. It's so sad. I'm so bummed to see that. I wish it was doing better. But oh well, you know. Can't really control these things, but yeah, I would like to go see it at least one more time, because it really is an experience to be had with a cinema screen, you know, in a theater, especially with a sound system that engulfs you. It's such an experience, such a transporting, not sure the right adjective, but it's an experience that just transports you to another world. That's what's so incredible about it. William Hunter, you need to get Evernote so the kitty can't knock your notes around. I need to do something. Yeah, he's a troublemaker. He really is. Mr. Putler Gollum, do you know how 2049 is doing in the box office? I don't know exactly. I haven't really been keeping up with it. But it seems most everything I read says it's doing poorly, says it's bombing. So I don't know if it's just an exaggeration, if it's just, trying to make some clickbait sort of headlines. I'm not sure, but the prognosis doesn't look good. But I hope it proves itself to have some legs at the box office, that just hopefully through word of mouth, more people go see it, that it's kind of one of those movies that doesn't make a ton of money up front, but that kind of sticks around for a while. Time will tell. We'll find out. But I'm hoping that's what ends up happening. Or maybe it makes a ton of money overseas. Something, because I really think it deserves to do well. Oh yeah, Movies for Life. Having my girlfriend with me was what tipped me over the edge. Yeah, she was also really emotional at the Joy character. Yeah, it's fascinating. Yeah, the questions that movie asks and the relationship that it creates. I actually saw a meme online the other day. It was a still from, is it Lars and the Real Girl, the Ryan Gosling movie where he's got the his girlfriend is the doll. And it was a picture of him with the doll, Ryan Gosling with the doll. It said Blade Runner 2049, which I thought was funny. I didn't think about that connection. But that is really what the movie is about. It's about replicants and the future, and corporations, all these other things. But I think really the central theme of the film is the nature of love and human emotion, which is pretty interesting. I found that very engaging. And very emotional as well. There are several moments that I think really do hit you pretty hard, pretty powerfully, especially that final shot, those moments with Harrison Ford. I think it's a pretty moving film. Movies for Life. You're Luke, by the way. Okay, Luke. I'll start calling you Luke. Cinnamon San. Oh, now I'm falling behind. Second viewing of Blade Runner 2049 made me see more biblical references. Interesting. I miss those. You'll have to point some out for me. Dropout number 7. Have you seen Madadayo? What are your favorite Kurosawa films? I love Kurosawa. Kurosawa is one of my all-time favorites. Seven Samurai has long been one of my all-time favorite movies. Yojimbo, of course, fantastic. I actually think I maybe like the second one a little bit more. Sanjuro. I sort of enjoyed Sanjuro a little bit more than Yojimbo. What else? God, Kurosawa. Francis Ford Coppola had a famous quote about Kurosawa after Kurosawa passed away in the early 90s. He was talking about Kurosawa's work, and he said, it's hard to really, to really talk about, his filmography, because he's not like most filmmakers where he has like one or two great movies. It's like his whole career, you can only separate into the movies that are masterpieces and just the ones that are simply very, very exceptional. And I think that's absolutely true. He was such a great filmmaker that just every movie has something in it that really impresses you in some way. But yeah, definitely Seven Samurai and the Yojimbo movies. Redbeard, I thought, was excellent. His last movie with Toshiro Mifune. Really great performance from Mifune in that one. Ikiru is a great one. Madadayo, I'm actually a very big fan of. His final movie. I really enjoyed that one. I thought that was a very sweet meditation on aging and life and death. It's very good, very underrated and underseen. Kagamusha, Ron. Gosh, what are some of the other underrated ones? Dodeska Den, I actually found to be very underrated. I really enjoyed that one. Gosh, I've never seen Dersu Uzala. I've been wanting to catch that one. I saw a bunch of his earlier stuff a long time ago, like Drunken Angel, Stray Dog. I remember liking those, but it's been a long time. The Bad Sleep Well, High and Low. Those are, yeah, probably most of the Mifune ones are my favorites. So Yojimbo, Seven Samurai, Redbeard, Madadeo's up there too. And I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. I'm sure there's more. He did so many movies and so many great movies. But yeah, those are some of my favorites off the top of my head. But yeah, Madadeo is great. I don't think enough people have seen that movie. Jack, I saw 2049 3 times. It is #1 at the box office in Australia. That's good to hear. That's encouraging. Oh, and Sasha, favorite Kurosawa, Rashomon, Throne of Blood, personally. 2 good ones. I've actually never been an especially big fan of Rashomon. I understand why it's an important movie, and there are things I admire about it. But Rashomon, I guess just for me, it's never quite done it for me, you know? It's never one I really get swept up in, you know, like Seven Samurai, where the movie's like 3.5 hours long. I never even notice the runtime every time I watch Seven Samurai. I just get so swept up in the story and the incredible filmmaking on display. Rashomon, you know, I don't get as into it as other Kurosawa movies. And Throne of Blood is good. Another one, yeah, I didn't get so wrapped up in, but I mean, there's so much to admire in that movie. The cinematography, and yeah, the acting, Toshiro Mifune. There's no Kurosawa movie, you know, that you can entirely dismiss. Even if it's one you don't particularly care for, there's still so much you can admire and respect about it. He was one of the master filmmakers. Oh, already forgot your name. Luke at Movies for Life. 2049 is doing poorly, but a lot better than the original did. Yes, which of course was a famous flop back in 1982. 2049 passed the production budget in a week. The original didn't even make its production budget back. That's something. That's good. Oh, and yeah. Oh, great. Now I'm falling behind again. William Hunter. Yeah, the original Blade Runner was a slow boil for popularity. So hopefully time will vindicate the new one. That's usually the way it works. But yeah, Blade Runner was a flop on its initial theatrical run. It wasn't until home video that Blade Runner really started finding an audience. Specifically, it was when the director's cut was released, which it's such a convoluted history behind Blade Runner. Because the director's cut wasn't actually a director's cut. It was just made, it was apparently made without Ridley Scott's involvement. They just kind of took his notes on what he didn't like about the theatrical cut, and then just kind of made a few changes. They took out the voiceover. They trimmed the ending, the extra bit on the end that they made him shoot, and then they put it out as the director's cut on home video. That was the version that most people saw, and how the movie started really attracting its cult following. It wasn't until the final cut that Ridley Scott actually got in there and, you know, personally oversaw, you know, the reconstruction of his original vision. So it's confusing and it's strange. But yeah, it was really because of home video that Blade Runner found its audience. And it's arguably the movie that invented the idea of the director's cut. I'm pretty sure before Blade Runner, that idea didn't really exist because home video was new. There was no format, you know, for a director's cut. So that was kind of how that concept was invented, the idea of doing an extended cut, an unrated cut, a director's cut. It's really because of Blade Runner. Cineman San, box office numbers for Blade Runner 2049 don't look too bad on IMDb. It's made more than $156 million worldwide already. So maybe the headlines are exaggerated. That's good to hear. Yeah, that you do tend to, I guess, just with, especially with online articles, you tend to want to make these bold declarations to attract a lot of attention. Blade Runner 2049 bombs at the box office. That'll get a lot of clicks. But yeah, maybe sounds like it's probably not doing as poorly as you would get the impression that it's doing from seeing the news and stuff. So that's good to hear. Zach Hayes, I'm going to see Killing of a Sacred Deer next month sometime. I've heard it's one of the best films of the year from the festivals, from the guy that did The Lobster, Yorgos Lanthimos. Yeah, big fan of his. Big fan. Very excited for that one. I did watch the trailer. I can't remember if it was you that told me to watch the trailer, but yeah, it looks good. It looks really, really good. I'm excited for that one. Lanthimos, yeah, is one of the new modern masters. Very excited for his new stuff. Dropout number 7, My favorite Kurosawa, apart from Seven Samurai, is High and Low. Interesting. Yeah, High and Low is an interesting one. I don't know. That one was another, yeah, kind of tricky one for me. I thought the structure was very weird. How the first half is kind of like is almost like theatrical. It's almost like a play. It's just kind of one location, really built around suspense, claustrophobia, this really self-contained kind of story. And then in the second half, it almost becomes a completely different kind of movie. It becomes more of a police procedural, which I found very unusual. So I've only really sat down and really watched it one time, and I've seen bits and pieces here and there apart from that. So yeah, I might need to give High and Low another shot. Again, great cinematography. Yeah, Kurosawa's use of widescreen, cinemascope widescreen is really striking. His staging, his compositions, and just the black and white photography are always gorgeous. And yeah, there are certainly some great acting. There's certainly some great performances and set pieces. But yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't expecting the movie to be like these two completely different films, like back to back. That took me by surprise. So I might need to give it another watch. I've got the Criterion Blu-ray back there, so it'll be easy. Oh, I need a draining battery fast. I need to plug in. I said I'd try to get through the chat faster, but I'm just going back to my old thing. Luke, I estimate 2049 will need 400 million at the box office to be a financial success. It's looking like it'll end with 300 to 350 million. Yeah, man, the overhead with big movies now is so massive. You need to make so much money to be considered a success. It's too bad. But you know, I think 2049 is one of those movies that even if it doesn't do like 400 million, whatever it needs to do, I'm sure it'll have a very long life on like Blu-ray, what have you. Because I mean, the reviews are there. The movie's got a lot of fans, a lot of people that really admire it. So I'm sure it'll end up developing as much of a following as the original has. It's really great. And I mean, Denis Villeneuve I firmly believe he's going to be, in the future, he's going to be looked back upon as one of the all-time great filmmakers. So I'm not too worried about 2049's place in film history, you know? Cinema and Sand, very much looking forward to The Square. That is the new Ruben Östlund film, right? If I'm saying his name correctly. He did Force Majeure, which was a very good movie. Won the Palme d'Or in Cannes. Yeah, The Square did. Haven't seen it yet, but yeah, heard good things. Have to check it out when I get a chance. Don't know too much about it. That's usually the way I like it. I like to go into stuff as blind as possible. But yeah, certainly winning the Palme d'Or, that one gets my attention. I'm gonna have to see that one when I get the opportunity. Sasha, Dersu Uzala is fantastic, but really they all are. Drunken Angel is a favorite. Yeah, I always forget. Which one is Drunken Angel? That's the one with Takashi Shimura as the doctor, right? And Toshiro Mifune plays the gangster with tuberculosis. Yeah, and then Stray Dog is the one where he plays the rookie cop that loses his gun. Yeah, I always get those two confused, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I got them right. Yeah, those are both really good early Kurosawa. Volsticks, I'm looking forward to seeing The Death of Stalin this week. I'm not familiar with this one. I've heard the title, but I don't really know anything about it. Maybe somebody can fill me in. Yeah, because I don't really know what that one is, so I'm intrigued. Let's see. It's my heater turning on. I'm sure that sounds nice in the background. What else we got here? Whoops. Okay, lost my chance a little bit, or lost my place a little bit. Cinnamon Sand, my favorite Kurosawa is Ikiru. That's a good one. That's a great one to watch back to back with Seven Samurai, to really admire Takashi Shimura's range, because he plays the lead role in both of those. And I think actually Ikiru and Seven Samurai, they were released back to back. I'm trying to remember now. It was either the same year, 1954, or I think Ikiru was the year before, 1953, and then Seven Samurai followed in 1954. And you watch Takashi Shimura in both of those movies as the dying old man in Ikiru, and then as the powerful leader of the samurai in his very next performance. It's amazing that it's the same guy in both of those movies. That guy had tremendous range. I might have to turn off the heater. Let's see. Yeah, that's a little too distracting. Zach Hayes. I've been catching up on some classics. Just finished Grand Illusion, the first Spine #1 in the Criterion Collection. And finishing up Harold and Maude. That's a good one. Hal Ashby, very underrated filmmaker. Being There is one of my favorite movies with Peter Sellers, but Harold and Maude is a great one too. I'm really enjoying it. I see a lot of inspiration in it. I've only seen that one once, and I have the Criterion Blu-ray, so I need to give that one a second watch. I'm a big fan of Hal Ashby, so I should go back to that one, because unfortunately I don't remember very much. I just remember, really mostly what I remember is Bud Cort and like all of the jokes of him attempting suicide. It's a very dark comedy, but the way it's done is very like kind of slapstick. But I do remember those bits. And yeah, a lot of the movie, yeah, unfortunately, I can't recall very clearly, so I definitely need to give that one a second watch. Oh, and Volstix, did you get a chance to watch Borgman yet, Henry? Not yet, but I found that it is streaming on Hulu, so I'm definitely going to watch it, because it is on Hulu. So I know it is available for me to watch. Got to give it a watch. Yeah, I remember. I wrote it down. It's on my list. Don't worry. I will try to watch it. Some people are spoiling Blade Runner, too. Be warned, anyone who's never seen Blade Runner. Some spoilers, it seems, in the chat here. Volstix, Squares from the same guy who did Force Majeure? I shall investigate further. Yeah, Force Majeure is a good one. That's a pretty good one. Very dark comedy. Let's see. Oh, Sasha, yesterday I received Denis Villeneuve's Polytechnique on Blu-ray. I haven't seen that one yet. I did see that it was streaming on Amazon Prime. I don't know if it still is, but I want to give that one a watch. That's one of, yeah, Villeneuve's early ones when he was still just a Canadian director, not really like a worldwide acclaimed filmmaker. But yeah, I'm curious to see some of his earlier work like that. So I'll have to see if it's still on Amazon. Try to give that one a watch. I might need to write it down so I don't forget. It's one that never shows up on like suggestions or anything. Sometimes on Amazon, you got to really dig to find stuff. Like I didn't even know The Love Witch was available on Amazon Prime until like I saw a Tumblr post or something. I was like, oh, wow. I'll definitely add that to my brother's list. It's his account. Polytechnique. Yeah, I'll see if that one's still on there. Try to put it on my list. Oh, okay, Sasha. I get them mixed up too. I meant Stray Dog when I said Drunken Angel. That's good to hear. I'm not the only one that gets them mixed up. So Stray Dog then. The one where Mifune is the cop. Yeah, that's a good one. His earlier stuff, Kurosawa's earlier stuff was a lot grittier. I guess all of his movies were pretty gritty, but I feel like as his career went on, they got more and more stylized. Like they got more and more heightened and kind of theatrical. Like I remember Stray Dog like having a lot of really gritty, almost like handheld photography. I might be remembering it incorrectly, but that's the impression that it's left in my head. So, and I've only seen both of those movies the one time. I should go back and check them out again. Andy Moe, welcome. I haven't seen any Kurosawa. Where do you think I should start? Definitely Seven Samurai. That's a pretty great introduction to Kurosawa. I think probably his best movie. It's long been, I guess I'd probably say my favorite. But Seven Samurai is a great place to start. But I mean, Yojimbo is a great one. And Rashomon. I think those are the three like most iconic works of his. They've been borrowed and lifted and ripped off and remade so many times that I think that's probably a pretty comfortable starting place with Kurosawa. And then just expand from there. William Hunter, speaking of Ruth Gordon, In the lead up to Halloween, I watched Rosemary's Baby. Great film, classic. She won a Best Supporting Actress Oscar for her role in the movie. A truly unsettling film. That it is. Yeah, Rosemary's Baby is a great one. One of my favorite horror films. A pretty revolutionary movie too. There's a really terrific book called Shock Value, which who's the Jason Zinnemann is the author. I got it on a shelf down here. But that's a really great one about the like revolutionary horror films of the late 60s and the 70s. You know, stuff like The Exorcist, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Last House on the Left. It's kind of about how that era of horror filmmaking really just changed the genre completely. And Rosemary's Baby was definitely a key entry. That was like one of the first films to really try to ground a story of supernatural horror in as realistic a setting as possible. You know, it's not Gothic castles. It sort of is, but it's not like an exotic location. It's not like some kind of fantasy melodrama. It's grounded very much in the real world. And what Polanski does, you know, in his directing of that movie is to really try to sell the reality of the film as much as possible in the early scenes, and then to very slowly introduce the supernatural elements to make it as believable and as naturalistic as possible, which was really, that was one of the first times that was done. And I think Rosemary's Baby is still, to this day, is pretty effective. I very much admire that movie. It's long been a favorite of mine. Let's see. Dropout number 7. Are you planning to see Mindhunters? It's good if you're a David Fincher fan. Is that one on Netflix? I think I saw like a trailer or something play on something that I watched or last time I was on there. If I got that wrong, please correct me. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what Mindhunters is. Maybe I should write it down. Also, Kurosawa followed Seven Samurai with I Live in Fear, which I did not like. Yeah, that's an interesting one too. That's the one where Toshiro Mifune plays an old man that is trying to move his family to Brazil, I think it is, because he fears a nuclear war. So that one, I Live in Fear, has now become, again, a very timely film. But yeah, it's sort of about, I guess, paranoia and, just the existential fear of war and, you know, apocalyptic oblivion. It's an interesting one. And again, I think it's best viewed as an example of Toshiro Mifune's range, because he went, from Kikuchiyo, I think is his name, in Seven Samurai, this wild, youthful, unpredictable character, to playing this old man just, I mean, racked with paranoia and existential fear and terror. It's pretty amazing. I think he was probably in his mid-30s when he did that, and he's playing like a 60-year-old man in that movie. It's pretty impressive. The movie, unfortunately, is not one of Kurosawa's best. But I think it's most interesting as just a showcase for Mifune and his range. What was I going to write down? Mindhunters, that's right. Mindhunters. Okay. Andy Moe, maybe start with Yojimbo or Redbeard. My pick is Seven Samurai, but both of those are pretty good too. Yojimbo and Redbeard. Lower Depths, that was an interesting one. That's a miserable film. It's just all about poverty and misery and I think it's, what is it? It's an adaptation of a Chekhov play. It feels very theatrical. It's like the first half of High and Low, but extended to an entire film. And instead of, the high, you get the low, which I never thought about that. Maybe that's symbolic in High and Low. You get the high and then the low, you know, at first it's in the rich guy's house on the hill in the first half. In the second half, you get the low, you get the poverty, the squalor down on the streets in the city. Never thought about that. That's interesting to consider. Lower Depths is like the second half of High and Low, but presented like the first half of High and Low. But that is a memorable one. Memorable, for just what a miserable experience it is. But again, great example of writing, directing, acting, all of Kurosawa's movies have something to admire there. Let's see. Yeah, Zach Hayes. It's kind of weird for me to see Harold and Maude because the Maude actress, Ruth Gordon, was the creepy neighbor in Rosemary's Baby. But it reminded me of Lolita a little, and Fight Club has some similarities. Interesting. I wouldn't have guessed those two movies, but yeah, it's always interesting to hear how other people react to films. Luke, brownies really starting to take hold. Switch to edibles. Well, don't overdo it, man. Be careful. Take it easy. William Hunter, I'll make a note of shock value. Where is Evernote? Yeah, I don't know what that is either. I don't know any of the digital applications. Yeah, I like physical things. I like having a physical pad to write down on. That's just, it's more satisfying to me. Yeah, so I don't know too much about the things my computer could do. I'm sure my life would be a lot easier if I were more electronic literate. Andy Moe, yeah, you're welcome for the suggestions. Kurosawa's a great one, an essential one if you're building a vocabulary for cinema. Gotta watch some Kurosawa. Let's see. Whoops. William Hunter, you can see how Stephen King would be influenced by Rosemary's Baby. Same kind of horror world building. Yeah. Of trying to create a very strong sense of reality, that the story just takes place in the world we all recognize and live in. And then very slowly it starts to take you into another world, you know, a more stylized world. That's really effectively done in Rosemary's Baby. Stephen King is also very good at that as well, of making you believe in those possibilities, those impossible things, those supernatural things that they could possibly exist in the real world. Those are always really creepy, effective movies for me. Dropout number 7. Seven Samurai is the type of movie that can convert a regular film goer into a film nerd. I think it was probably one of those films that did that for me. It took a couple movies, but Seven Samurai was definitely one of them. And there was other stuff too. Apocalypse Now, Persona, 2001: A Space Odyssey. But Seven Samurai was definitely one of those movies. Oh, Andy Moe also just watched Blade Runner again last night after watching 2049 last week. Made me love 2049 even more. Did such a great job respecting the original while not being afraid to do its own thing. I concur, man. Absolutely. And I think I'm going to see 2049 again tonight. Thank you, MoviePass. I'd love to join you. Hopefully I do get a chance to see 2049 again. I really want to. Sasha, Heaven and Hell is the Japanese title for High and Low. That it is. Tengoku no Jidoku. That's the original Japanese title. Showing off a bit there. But yeah, it translates literally to Heaven and Hell. And it is about, yeah, class separations. There's social commentary happening. And Cinnamon Sand, have you or anybody ever seen The Reflecting Skin by Philip Ridley, 1990? And if so, what is your opinion on it? Thinking of blind buying it on Blu-ray. Maybe someone else can tell you about that one. It's one I've heard of, and I've heard it's really crazy and weird and disturbing. I really want to see it, but I have not as of yet. But hopefully I do get the chance to one of these days. I would like to blind buy the Blu-ray as well, because it sounds fascinating. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't give you any real advice on that one, whether it's worth buying or not. Actually, I do have a Magic 8-Ball here, so let's ask the Magic 8-Ball. Should Cinnamon Sand buy The Reflecting Skin on Blu-ray? Don't count on it. That's not a good sign. Should I ask again? Maybe you still want to buy it. Either way. Magic 8-Ball's not always right. Oh, Volsticks, great film. Philip Ridley is great. Heartless is also brilliant in my opinion. All right, listen to Volsticks. Forget the Magic 8-Ball. Listen to Volsticks. But yeah, I would like to see that one too. So what do you think? Should I talk about one of the movies? Should I talk about Gerald's Game? Has anybody seen Gerald's Game? This is a Netflix original movie. I don't remember who it was, but somebody suggested to me. Hang on, I'm trying to maneuver with my coffee cup here. Somebody suggested to me a little while ago that I watch some Mike Flanagan movies. And I had never heard of him before. So I went on Netflix and I put in his name and I found that he has 2 movies streaming on Netflix. The first one was when was it made? A couple of years ago, I think. It's called Hush. So I watched that one. It's a home invasion thriller. And the concept behind it, basically, it's sort of like Don't Breathe, but a little less morally ambiguous. You know, it's about a writer, a deaf-mute woman who lives alone, you know, kind of in an isolated house. Her home is invaded by just basically this psychopath in a mask that wants to kill her. So it's kind of a cat and mouse game, a thriller. It's pretty well done. It's not the best example of that kind of movie that I've ever seen, but still, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was effective. I got invested. I cared about the characters. You know, when it got to the scenes, you know, where she's fighting for her life, she's trying to make the right decision, you know, to triumph in whatever situation it is. I got invested. I got pulled into it. I cared about her. I reacted, you know, when things went well or poorly for her. So, I mean, I got pulled in. I got affected by it. And the ending is pretty satisfying. But yeah, it's a well done movie, certainly. And yeah, I guess home invasion kind of movies certainly are very creepy. You know, that is certainly a very real fear of mine, of some psychopath invading my home. And so the movie does that pretty effectively, I thought, too. There's a great little scene in Hush where the crazy guy gets a hold of the woman's phone and he starts taking pictures of her and sending them to her on her laptop. So she's just sitting there and yeah, she's deaf, so she can't hear him stalking around her house, which are some really great suspenseful scenes. And then, yeah, she starts getting pictures of herself on her laptop, which, I mean, if that happened to me or anybody in real life, that would be so terrifying. Could you imagine seeing something like that? If I got a picture of myself right now, that would be terrifying. So the movie has some good moments. It has some genuinely good, effective, creepy moments. And if you're looking, yeah, for an intense, like, horror kind of thriller with some good violence and set pieces and whatnot in it that's well put together, maybe give Hush a look on Netflix. And then also, Zach Hayes, haven't seen Gerald's Game yet. Okay, but I've heard it's good, so I'll eventually check it out. Yeah, Mike Flanagan's latest movie is Gerald's Game, an adaptation of a Stephen King novel. It's a Netflix original production, which I think I mentioned. I didn't know too much about it going into it. All I really knew was just kind of what I assumed from seeing the thumbnail, which is Carla Gugino handcuffed to a bed. So I thought, okay, this is probably something kinky. And I just kind of started it. And yeah, basically the concept is that it is just kind of like basically like a closed room thriller, sort of. I'm not quite sure on the terminology how it would be defined in terms of genre, but basically the concept is it's an older couple who have been married for kind of a while. Their marriage, you know, is going through a bit of a rough patch. So they kind of go to their vacation house in the middle of nowhere, and they decide they're going to try and spice up their marriage by playing a few kinky games. So yeah, they bring along some handcuffs, and the wife, played by Carla Gugino, is handcuffed to the bed by her husband, played by Bruce Greenwood, and almost immediately he has a heart attack and dies. So she's stuck to the bed, handcuffed. She can't do anything. She's trapped. And nobody knows they're there. There's nobody nearby. So basically the whole movie takes place in one room with essentially one actress, and it's about her trying to stay alive and trying to figure out how the hell she's going to get out of the situation. Bold concept for a movie, I have to say. And yeah, when it starts, it really makes you wonder, like, are they going to sustain this for like an hour and 40 minutes? This will be an impressive feat of filmmaking if they can actually pull this off. And I thought the movie was really well done. Like Hush, very well done, very well directed, well staged. Flanagan, yeah, clearly is has a lot of ingenuity, knows how to use, you know, a limited scope and a claustrophobic space in a very creative way. The movie never felt like Hush. It never felt repetitive to me. It escalated the stakes very, very well. And the acting was terrific. Carla Gugino, basically the only actress on screen the majority of the time. And she really threw herself into the part with abandon. I thought she was pretty good. Yeah, the movie actually, it's intense. You get invested, you get pulled into it. It's unpleasant in a lot of ways, which I think means that as a film, it does work if it's, you know, making you feel those things. And it is genuinely creepy too. Eventually, or actually rather quickly, the Carla Gugino character, she begins hallucinating. And at first, it's just kind of like reflecting her inner thoughts, you know, a way of kind of like saying, like, this is kind of what's going through her head. She'll try this, she'll try that. She's kind of trying to figure out the situation by, and the way the movie represents that is kind of like by externalizing her thoughts as, you know, these characters that appear to her, which take the form of herself or her husband or other things. Eventually, she kind of starts visualizing death stalking her. And there's some very, very creepy moments, creepy images involving that. I will say this, though. No spoilers for where it goes or how it ends. Won't reveal any of that. But I will say, definitely one thing about the movie that has attracted a lot of controversy are the final 10 minutes. And definitely they are very, very unexpected. Basically, every review I've read, like on Letterboxd and stuff, they all seem to say the same thing, that, hey, this was a pretty good movie until the last 10 minutes. The 10 minutes were so stupid and so unnecessary. They ruined the whole movie for me. For me, the last 10 minutes didn't ruin it, but they're definitely unexpected. And kind of when I was about halfway through those last 10 minutes, it's kind of like, this is an interesting direction. I don't know. I would have ended the movie a long time ago. And then, yeah, it keeps going and keeps, yeah, developing in more unexpected directions. And yeah, does it work? I'm not so sure. You kind of just have to see for yourself and judge for yourself. It's definitely, it is an unexpected choice that is probably going to make you feel pretty strongly one way or the other. But I will say this, the fact that they took a risk like that, I have to respect that. It's a pretty bold move to end the movie like that and to throw those last few twists on there. I did not see it coming. I did not see it coming at all. And whether or not I think it really works, I think it is one of the most memorable things about the movie. Love it or hate it, you will never forget those final few twists in the last 10 minutes. Almost worth watching, you know, just to get to that last bit at the end, and just to see how you react to it for yourself. But other than that, take the final 10 minutes how you will. Other than that, I thought the movie was pretty good. Really good performances. It's well made. Takes a very simple concept and finds interesting ways of developing it and sustaining it for a feature film runtime without getting repetitive or thin. You know, I thought it held up pretty well for the idea that it was of actually feeling like a full real movie. But yeah, last 10 minutes are an interesting choice. I'll say that about them. It's an interesting choice. But yeah, hopefully Flanagan definitely seems to be a talented filmmaker, so I'm glad I got to see a couple of his movies over the last week. And hopefully I'll get the chance to see more. He seems like he's working quite a bit, releasing a lot of movies. So yeah, we'll see if I get to see any others. So yeah, that's Gerald's Game on Netflix, if you have it. Perhaps worth a look. Maybe if for no other reason than to just see what you'll think of those last 10 minutes. But the rest of the movie's pretty well done on top of that. What else we got here? Sasha, are you a fan of Paul Newman? Absolutely. Of course I'm a fan of Paul Newman. Yeah. one of the great classic American actors. So many, yeah, fantastic classic films from his filmography. Cool Hand Luke, great one. The Hustler, terrific movie. Unfortunately, Hustler, which I think is so bizarre, Hustler doesn't seem to be as well known as the sequel, The Color of Money. I guess because Color of Money is a Scorsese movie, it's Tom Cruise. I feel like most people know that one, and they aren't even aware that it's a sequel to The Hustler. But The Hustler is an excellent film, way better than Color of Money. Color of Money has its moments, but The Hustler is a terrific film. Gosh, what else? Paul Newman. He's done a bunch of great ones. He had a cameo in Mel Brooks's silent movie that was pretty funny. Gosh, I can't believe I can't really think of much else for Paul Newman. Maybe some people will post some things in the chat. But yeah, he was a great actor. Yeah, to me, one of the great stars of the 60s and the 70s, that whole era. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. There you go. Come on. Yeah, he was one of the greats, I think. Big fan of his work. Unfortunately, haven't seen as many of his films as I probably should have by this point, but I've seen most of the big ones, so that's something. Volsticks. Gerald's Game is the same director as Hush. Cool. I quite liked Gerald's Game. I think Carlo Gugino carried the film very well, it being more or less a chamber piece. There you go. That's probably the word I was looking for, a chamber piece. Yeah, basically all one room. It's kind of structured in a way that you get flashbacks and stuff. So there are other locations, and there are moments where we get out of the room for a moment to see some other stuff. But it's all very much connected with the character. We don't cut to other characters or simultaneous events. It's all basically her in the room, stuck on the bed. And anytime we cut away from that, it's kind of stuff that's going through her head. So it's all related to her and her situation. But yeah, pretty well done, I thought. For a movie that would seem, to be so limited in the scope of what you can do, I thought it found a pretty good way of sustaining it and expanding upon that idea in interesting ways. Sasha, check out a short film called Look Up on YouTube. I think you might like it. I'd like to know your thoughts once you have. I'll write that down. Look Up on YouTube. Okay. I will look up on YouTube. Sorry. Couldn't resist. Let's see. Volsticks. I thought the same thing about that film Locke with Tom Hardy, as in, can they pull this off for the length of a whole film? Yeah, because Locke, that's just Tom Hardy in a car, isn't it? I still haven't seen that one. I really want to, though. Mind you, in Locke, he's constantly interacting with real people. Yeah, I still haven't seen it. I've heard it's really good, though. Yeah, I'd like to see, though, how they run that for a whole movie, just Tom Hardy driving around in a car. It's an interesting idea, but yeah, I've heard it's really good. Let's see, Jack. Hey, am I the only one here who really likes Spy Kids, the first one? No, the first one is a good movie. That's a pretty good family movie. Yeah, Robert Rodriguez, he's a really good director. And yeah, Spy Kids is goofy, but for what it is, I think it's pretty good. I think it's fun. I remember seeing it in theaters when I was younger, and I remember loving the hell out of it. Never saw the sequels, but I do remember really liking the first one, and that was a VHS tape that I did own, that I watched quite a few times. So yeah, I'm certainly fond of Spy Kids. Yeah, Cinnamon Sand, Butch Cassidy, thank you, Paul Newman. The Verdict, Dropout number 7. Yes, very good one. The Verdict by Sidney Lumet. That was a good one. Yeah, Verdict is very good. Sasha, Paul Newman was in the opening party scene in The Graduate, but he was out of focus. Holy shit, I didn't know that. I'll have to rewatch The Graduate, see if I can spot him. That's crazy. That would have been... Yeah, he would have been a star by that time. Wow, that's weird. I wonder what he's doing in The Graduate. Let's see. Not too much going on in the chat right now. Maybe I should just move on to The Big Sick. Anybody seen The Big Sick? Just watched that one like a couple days ago. Heard a lot about it, and feel like I should blow my nose. So I'm going to mute the mic for that. Hold on a second. There we go. Nice and polite with that. Oh, let's see. BB, you want to know how to make a good movie? Put Conor McGregor in any movie, and it will go viral and most popular of that year. Trust me, he's the man. I don't know Conor McGregor. Is he the MMA fighter? Noted though. If I make a movie, I'll try to get him in there. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, Cinnamon San. Okay, haven't seen The Big Sick. Curious what you think of it, Henry. I loved it. I really loved The Big Sick. I thought this was a terrific film. I'd heard a lot about it. It had gotten a lot of acclaim. Did the Oscars already come along? Is The Big Sick still eligible, or are they still like getting ready for the Oscars? Because I get confused about this now, how it works sometimes. But I remember when The Big Sick came out, it started getting a lot of acclaim, and a lot of people were saying like, oh, this is going to be a big Oscar contender. Haven't really heard anything about that for a while. So I don't know if it came and went, if it missed out, or if it got snubbed, or if we're still waiting for the next Oscars. Wish I was better about that stuff. But yeah, it was one that kind of flew onto my radar for that reason, because I was seeing that a lot of people were really loving it. And a lot of the podcasts that I listen to, like Nerdist, WTF with Mark Maron, a few others, the Leonard Maltin podcast, Kumail Nanjiani, one of the co-writers and the star of the movie, and his wife Emily Gordon, who is the other writer of the movie. She, for some reason, is not in the movie. She's played by Zoe Kazan, but basically they wrote the script, and it's based off of their real life. Their actual relationship, how they met, and kind of how the first few months of their relationship progressed and took some rather unexpected directions. So I wound up hearing a lot about the movie from like those podcast episodes that they were doing, like promoting the film. And I finally got to see it. Apparently it got picked up, or it was produced by Amazon Studios. I don't know which. I think it was made and then it got picked up by Amazon, or maybe it was produced by Amazon. I can't remember. But I think probably, I got a DVD from the library, but I think it's probably going to be streaming on Amazon Prime fairly soon. So if anybody has Amazon Prime, maybe keep an eye out for it if it comes up there. Hopefully it does, because it's really, really good. And I think this is definitely a movie worth checking out. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's very, very funny. And very, very surprising. But yeah, basically, it's like I said, it's based on the actual real life relationship between writers Kumail Nanjiani and Emily Gordon, and how they met, and how after they'd been dating for a little while, Emily Gordon fell ill and basically slipped into a coma. And so it's kind of about how, yeah, how that affects their relationship, and yeah, how they dealt with that, and yeah, basically kind of, yeah, how, yeah, basically how Kumail Nanjiani, yeah, and Emily Gordon's family, like how they dealt with the coma and the illness. And it's also, you know, it's about families and heritage, because it's also very autobiographical for Nanjiani, who comes from a Pakistani family, and yeah, had a lot of difficulties with his parents. You know, the fact that he wasn't dating another Pakistani woman. So it's kind of about, yeah, heritage and culture and family, and yeah, kind of the clash that comes between what your family expects of you, what they want for you, and kind of what you have to do to make yourself happy, the choices you want to make in your own life, and kind of how parents and culture and all these other things kind of put pressure on that to push you in one way when really your heart is leading you in another direction. Really interesting, kind of a lot of stuff I'd never really seen in a film before, and it all felt very real. This movie feels very true to life, which was something I found so engaging about it, is that it really did feel honest. It felt real and it felt honest, because of course it's based on real life. But yeah, it takes turns and twists that most any other romantic comedy would never take. I mean, yeah, the fact that the female lead slips into a coma about a third of the way into the movie, I can't see many other films doing that. and probably the only place that idea could come from is real life. But this is an excellent film. It's very well directed, really well written, and it has some exceptional performances from a really great ensemble cast. Kumail Nanjiani plays himself. He's excellent. Zoe Kazan plays Emily Gordon, who I think she has another name, like Emily something that starts with G, but it's like a kind of like a fictionalized version of herself. And of course, Nanjiani is playing a fictionalized version of himself. But Zoe Kazan as Emily, excellent. Ray Romano and Holly Hunter, who are both excellent as Emily's parents. Gosh, who else is in this movie? Unfortunately, I don't know the name of the actors that play Nanjiani's family, but they're all terrific as well. Everybody in the movie is really, really great. If the movie's worth watching for any reason, it's for seeing these performances. Everybody's so good. And the script is very smart. It's very funny. It's got some really genuinely emotionally powerful moments. And the whole thing is just so sweethearted and so heartwarming in a way that doesn't feel like forced or false. And it takes so many genuinely unexpected twists and turns, which to me is the part of the movie that really feels like it reflects real life. It doesn't feel like a conveniently structured romantic comedy, where things progress very simply and straightforwardly from A to B to C. This is a movie that really does feel like as messy as real life would be, where A leads to B, leads to E, that leads back to B, that eventually leads to C, that skips over D, goes to F, and then you end up back at A before you finally get to your ending. So I really liked that. It was unpredictable, going in all kinds of messy directions, and I felt like that was just trying to reflect, like, yeah, this is how real life works. It doesn't work the way you plan it. It's not convenient. It doesn't lead, smoothly from this to that. It's kind of all over the place, and you just have to roll with the punches. So I found all that very engaging about the movie, and it's funny, and it's sweet, and talking about Parks and Recreation. Okay, yeah, somebody mentioned happy endings, Volstick's happy endings. But yeah, this movie, yeah, it does, of course, spoiler alert, but I mean, you kind of know since it's based on real life because it was written by Nanjiani and Gordon, who are married in real life. You kind of know where it's going, but the movie is so unpredictable and goes, in so many directions that there is some genuine suspense. You do genuinely wonder, like, wow, are they going to end up together? Like, I know they do in real life, but maybe the movie's going to throw a curveball at us. So it really gets you invested in that way. And then, yeah, wonderful happy ending that leaves you with just the biggest smile on your face. And you really come to care for these characters and their lives. Touches on some really interesting themes that I feel like haven't really been addressed in this way in a film before. It's excellent. It's really terrific. So yeah, if you like sweet, happy movies about romance and life and that are funny and engaging and dramatic, this is definitely one to see. I can see why it's getting the acclaim that it has. I was not quite sure what I would think of it because I'm not typically, a big fan of like romantic movies, stuff like this. But I was surprised, like starting it right away, I got drawn into it almost immediately, and it moves very quickly. It just hooked me, carried me right through. It's long for a comedy. It's about 2 hours, which, I guess movies like this typically aren't that long, but I think there's a reason for it being that long, and it fills the runtime. It keeps you there. It keeps you engaged the whole time, so it doesn't feel excessive or self-indulgent. It's got a lot of story to tell. It's got a lot of life to reflect and express. But yeah, it's terrific. It's really, really excellent, and I highly recommend it to anybody. Should be available on VOD. You can give it a rental maybe. And if you have Amazon Prime, I'm assuming it'll probably be available to stream fairly soon. So if you haven't seen it yet, absolutely do give it a look. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's a feel-good movie in the best sense of the word. So yeah, that's The Big Sick. I was very, very, very pleasantly surprised by that one. Or not surprised, but Very pleased to see that it lived up to the acclaim. It really is terrific. Let's see what else we got here in the chat. Got both the movies out of the way. We've only been going about an hour. Hey, not bad. Pretty efficient this week. Let's see. What else we got here? Jackie, welcome. Haven't seen you post anything yet. I argue that Spy Kids 2 is also amazing for Steve Buscemi. That's a good argument. I haven't seen Spy Kids 2, though. I might have to give it a look for Steve Buscemi, obviously. Volstix, Big Sick. Haven't seen it either. I really do not like the male lead. He just irritates me for some reason. Interesting. Kumail Nanjiani. I think he's pretty good. I think he's pretty good, especially in this movie. I thought he was very engaging, carried the movie very well. And he hasn't done like a lot of like major like lead performances like this. But I thought, yeah, he carried the film pretty well, and yeah, managed to share the screen with some pretty terrific actors like Holly Hunter, a few others. Ray Romano also as Emily's father. He's doing a more dramatic role here. He's really good too. I've never really seen Ray Romano in a dramatic role like this, but he's terrific. I was surprised. You see him, and at first you're kind of like, oh, it's Everybody Loves Raymond. Hey, look at him. But after a while, you sort of forget that it's him. He occupies this character so effectively that you just sort of accept him as this guy, and you stop thinking of it as Ray Romano. But yeah, I thought everyone was terrific. Kumail Nanjiani included. I thought they were all great. So maybe don't jump to conclusions a little too quickly. Like at least give the movie a shot. Yeah, you might find that this movie, because he wrote it himself, it presents him in a way that you enjoy a little bit more. Jack saw the trailer to The Big Sick and thought it looked like a ripoff of Master of None and was surprised by the positive reviews. Well, trailers, yeah, they can be misleading sometimes. Although, to be fair, I haven't watched Master of None. I think you suggested it to me, didn't you? It's on Netflix, I know. And I'm pretty sure I have it written down here. Yeah, Master of None. I do have that written down. Haven't watched it yet, so I can't say, yeah, how similar the two are. But yeah, I've heard Master of None is really good, but The Big Sick is pretty good too. Maybe, again, don't jump to conclusions too quickly. At least give it a shot, yeah, before you do. Let's see, drop out number 7. I want to see Paul Newman and Gary Oldman in a buddy cop movie. Well, unfortunately, we'll never get to see that because, Paul Newman is no longer with us, sadly. But maybe they can do one of the old Rogue Ones and create like a hologram or just CGI Paul Newman, put him next to Gary Oldman in a movie. Could happen. Stranger things have happened. Question is, what kind of movie would it be? What kind of buddy cop movie would it be? Would they be in Miami? Would they be in Hawaii, Chicago, New York, LA? Who knows? Possibility, though. Digital effects have opened up a whole new world. Yeah, let's get Paul Newman and Gary Oldman together. Let's get Fred Astaire and Zac Efron together. There are no limits. Let's see, Volstix. Whoa, Film 4 in the UK are premiering the ridiculously good British horror film A Dark Song this week. I recommend that film to everyone who reads this. It's a complete tour de force. I'll write that down then. A Dark Song. Getting lots of suggestions. Speaking of that, since I am going to be in Portland fairly soon, I'll hopefully have access to a lot more of these movies, get to start knocking a few off the list. But on that topic, I did recently see that Movie Madness, which is a movie rental store in Portland, Oregon, they've been in some financial trouble lately, and they've recently made the decision to go nonprofit, and they started a Kickstarter page to try and save the store. Movie Madness is a movie rental store / movie memorabilia museum in Portland, Oregon. They have an incredibly wide-ranging, expansive selection. It's a great place, a wonderful place, a magical place for any film lover. If you're ever in Portland, Oregon, highly recommend you visit Movie Madness, maybe rent some stuff, do something to support them. And yeah, if you are in other parts of the country or the world and you want to support one of the few remaining video stores, they do have a Kickstarter page. If you go in the description for this video, you can find a link to their Kickstarter page. And if you feel up for it, maybe throw something their way, because I don't want to see Movie Madness go away. So I just wanted to throw that out there, a little bit of support for Movie Madness, because I do love that place. And since I'm just getting ready to move to Portland, I don't want to see it go away. So I figured I'd throw that out there for anyone who's interested. Let's see what else we got in the chat. BB, oh, talking about Conor McGregor. Yes, he's the UFC fighter. He runs everything he touches. Should that be ruins? Runs everything he touches and has record numbers in everything he does. Trust me, he runs all aspects of life through the law of attraction and the most famous. Okay, well, good to know. He's like Chuck Norris then. I don't watch UFC, so I'm not familiar with these things, but it's good to be in the know. Thank you for informing me, BB. Let's see. Oh no, Sasha. MS pain. I'm very sorry to hear that, man. I hope you do okay. Yeah, I don't know if you have to, jump out of the stream or anything, but yeah, be good to yourself. Take care of yourself. Okay. Not joking. Yeah, well, yeah, if you gotta duck out and get some rest or whatever you gotta do, yeah, please do that. Take care of yourself, man. Whoops. I hope you feel better. Sorry to hear that. Very sorry to hear that. What else we got here? Oh, okay. Okay, I just lost my place for a second. I'm trying to reorient myself. Oh, okay, Sasha, you're still here, it looks like. Yeah. Hopefully you're not feeling too bad. Hopefully it's okay. But yeah, Ray Romano is great in HBO's Vinyl, which is the show. Was it Martin Scorsese? He produced it? Did he direct it? But yeah, I've heard of Vinyl. I think they canceled it already, didn't they? But yeah, I've heard kind of mixed things about it. I didn't know he was in it though. That I might have to check that out. Vinyl, yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought Romano was great in The Big Sick. I was very surprised. That guy can genuinely act. That's good to see. But comedians usually can't act, when they get the opportunity. It's just, fortunately, a lot of them don't get the opportunity. Zach Hayes, the main guy in The Big Sick, isn't too bad in Silicon Valley. First show I've seen him in. Yeah, Nanjiani I thought was, I haven't really seen him in too much television stuff. I know I've seen him here and there in other stuff. But yeah, I thought he was great in Big Sick. I was very impressed by everyone's work there. But yeah, I thought it definitely revealed him as a pretty terrific actor too. Volstix, Steve Buscemi is in The Death of Stalin. Okay, it's directed by Armando Iannucci, Scottish-Italian UK writer, director, and performer. Co-wrote all the classic Chris Morris stuff, The Day Today, Brass Eye. Also has had his own comedy series and has written a couple of good books. Did a really great, surprisingly funny book about classical music recently. Oh yeah, The Thick of It and the film spinoff, and he did Veep too. Wow, quite a resume. Okay, so I'm guessing The Death of Stalin, it must be like a comedy or like a satire or something. I'll write it down though. Yeah, hadn't really heard of this one. I think I saw like Mark Kermode posted a review or something, but I didn't know anything about the film. Wrote it down though. I'll have to look into it. Let's see. Oh, Sasha, you mentioned The Thick of It. Okay, yeah. William Hunter, a movie rental story in financial trouble? The devil, you say? Yeah, I know. But I really do hope a few of them stick around. Hopefully, yeah, Movie Madness does become a non-profit business or landmark or whatever it is. Hopefully that means they can stick around because it's a great place. It really is a great place. If you ever visit Portland, Oregon, do drop by Movie Madness. I don't want to see it go away. Also in Seattle, Washington, there's a great place called Scarecrow Video. They've actually got the largest movie selection, I think, of any place in the world. Like, Scarecrow Video is like a labyrinth. It's massive. It's huge. And is a favorite spot of many a film fan and filmmaker. Guillermo del Toro has been there, I believe. Quentin Tarantino, I know, is a frequent visitor. So Scarecrow Video in Seattle, Washington. If you're ever up there, check out Scarecrow Video. And yeah, Movie Madness in Portland. Wanted to mention those. Let's see what else we got here. Dropout number 7. Have you seen Four Lions? It's a comedy about terrorism. Yes, I have seen Four Lions. I saw that on Hulu. I think it's still streaming there. Yeah, it's good. It's edgy. It's edgy. It definitely really goes out there. Yeah, and its subject matter and the material. It's very dark. And yeah, really walks a fine line between really sharp satire and then just tasteless comedy. But I thought it maintained the balance pretty well. Where it actually did have some things to say. There were some moments that I thought were genuinely funny. The performances were really excellent. I thought made the comedy work. But yeah, there are also other bits in it that are definitely not funny, that are pretty disturbing. But I also thought, the movie did intelligently try to tackle that subject, and in a way that that wasn't too one-sided. It tried to see, obviously, anybody, who decides to become a terrorist, you don't want to present them in too positive a light. But I thought the movie was trying to be critical, of terrorism itself, that whole subject matter, but also trying to criticize, the responses to terrorism and, from police force and government. So I thought it had multiple layers. It had multiple perspectives in there. It did try to present the issue in an intelligent, well thought out way. And the humor, I thought, did work. It's a toss up whether or not you're going to laugh at it, especially because, unfortunately, there are still, acts of violence out there, especially recently. There's been some pretty horrible ones, which, of course, are not funny at all. Four Lions was made, before a lot of these really horrible recent attacks. Could you make that movie today? Probably not. But the fact that it was made, I think it does try to really say something about that subject. I think it is funny. But obviously, some people were sort of offended by it, thought it was a subject, not appropriate for a comedy. I can certainly understand that perspective. But I thought it worked. I thought it was an interesting movie, not always funny. But I thought there were moments that were genuinely funny in it. And it also, I thought made some interesting points, about a very controversial subject. I think that's, as far as Chris Morris, I think that's the only thing of his that I've seen. But his name's come up a couple times, and I've definitely gotten a lot of suggestions of a lot of things to check out. I think I got some stuff written down here on my pad somewhere, like Brass Eye, I think, is one of his shows that I'm always being told to check out. So I'm gonna have to try and find more of his stuff. But I thought Four Lions was pretty sharp, witty satire. Let's what else? And okay. Let's see. Oh, Sasha, you're okay. All right. I'm glad to hear that. We'll feel the effects later tonight, though. Oof, pain always knocks me out, and I always fall asleep during every film I watch because of it. I'm really sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, that's got to suck. I can't imagine that. Yeah, really hope you deal with it okay. Gosh, I don't even know what to say other than my heart goes out to you, man. Really hope you feel all right. Really hope you feel all right. I think that's about all we got in the chat here. Talked about all the movies. If anyone has, I guess we've been going 2 hours, so I guess that's not exactly a short stream. But if we don't really have anything else, might just bring it to a close right now. I am doing another interview today. We're probably going to take a break for an hour or two, trying to get a hold of John Woodard, who is the interview subject today. We're probably going to do the thing around 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you can tune into that if you want. Check it out. And we're getting a couple more things now in the chat. Sasha, 20th Century Flicks is the last remaining video rental store in the UK. They have the largest collection too and are in my city. Kick ass, man. That sounds cool. Oh, and Jack, I thoroughly enjoyed Four Lions and Brass Eye. I quite like what I've seen from Chris Morris. Yeah, I need to see more of his stuff. It seems like, he's got quite a few very enthusiastic admirers. So yeah, I'll try and see some of his TV work. I've heard it's very, very good. But yeah, so we got the interview coming up after this. Take a little break. You can tune into that if you want. Yeah, I guess we didn't have like a really, really big movies to discuss here. But Big Sick, I think, is pretty terrific film. Highly recommend you check that one out. Gerald's Game, I think it's worth a look. I think it's worth seeing if you have Netflix. Oh wow, Sasha, talking about, what was it called? 20th Century Flicks. They have a small cinema modeled on the Twin Peaks Red Room too. That sounds very cool, like with the zigzag design and the red curtains. That is very cool. It's a very cool idea. But yeah, so I think we about got it all wrapped up then. If you all feel good about that. But yeah. So next week, what are we going to talk about next week? Is there anything coming out in theaters that I should go see? Anything I should watch? Any new kind of things? I'm finally caving, and I've decided to watch a couple of the new superhero movies. My brother was telling me how good Logan is. Really wants me to watch that one. I might try and watch Logan. Maybe Wonder Woman. Might give that a look. Maybe. We'll see. I also really want to see the new Craig Zoller movie. Craig Zoller is the guy that did Bone Tomahawk, which I don't know if anyone's seen that. Bone Tomahawk is a really excellent horror western starring Kurt Russell and Patrick Wilson, a few other really terrific actors. It's a really good movie, really genuinely disturbing, brutally violent mix of like horror and classic kind of western. Really terrific characters, great script, really good story, very suspenseful. It's a really terrific movie. And that director, the writer-director of Bone Tomahawk, he has a new movie out called Brawl in Cell Block 99, which stars Vince Vaughn, serious Vince Vaughn. I've heard it's wildly violent and also very good. But that is available on VOD right now for rental or for purchase, I believe. I'm thinking I might drop the $6 on that to give that a look, because I was a big fan of Bone Tomahawk, and I really want to see this guy's new movie. And I think it's very sad that his work, because it's such high quality, isn't getting more of a theatrical release. Like, I think Bone Tomahawk, I don't even know if it got a theatrical release. And Brawl in Cell Block 99, his new one, I think maybe got a few theatrical screenings and also has apparently gone straight to VOD, which is really sad. But it looks like this guy's career, Craig Zoller is his name, it looks like his career is really starting to take off. He's writing a new film for Ridley Scott, so that's a big project. And his new one is called, I think it's going to star Vince Vaughn again and Mel Gibson. So those are two pretty big actors. Hopefully that'll get more of a wider theatrical distribution. It's going to be about police brutality, another very heavy subject, which I'm sure, he'll tackle in a really just head-on brutal way. And it's going to be called Dragged Across Concrete. So that's a pretty good title, pretty brutal title, which I'm sure is indicative of the kind of content we're going to get in it, Dragged Across Concrete. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm really hoping to check out Brawl in Cell Block 99. So hopefully I'll be talking about that one next week. And also maybe Logan, maybe Wonder Woman, something else. We'll see. What do we got here in the last few comments? Zach, I don't think there's any new films I want to see in the theater. Yeah, it's kind of slow right now. I think It is still playing. I should give that one a look. And I want to go see Blade Runner again. We'll see if I do that. I don't want to go around spending a lot of money right now, though, since I'm getting ready to go up to Portland, hopefully fairly soon. By the end of the month is what I'm shooting for. Let's see. Oh, Sasha, I've just now had emails to start a live stream myself, so I'm about to. Okay, Sasha's about to start his live stream. We can all head over there. And I don't know when you're doing the Exorcist commentary, but hopefully I'll find out about that and join in on that for a little bit at least. Volstick's Bone Tomahawk was very cool. That it was. Cinnamon Sand, Bone Tomahawk, weird ending. It's good, though. It's good. It's really good. Sasha, I say avoid Wonder Woman. No redeeming qualities. Wow, harsh. But I like Patty Jenkins, though. I don't think she's done a movie since Monster, like more than 10 years ago, almost 15 years ago now, with Charlize Theron. Excellent movie, Monster. And I don't think Patty Jenkins has made like a theatrically released film since then. And I was a big fan of Monster, so I want to see Wonder Woman for that reason. And it looks like it's been a pretty groundbreaking film, so I respect your opinion, Sasha, but I think I'm still going to give Wonder Woman a shot just to see what I think of it. Zach Hayes, Logan was awesome. Wonder Woman wasn't bad. Better than Man of Steel and stuff. Okay, we're getting some mixed feelings on Wonder Woman, but yeah, I have heard Logan was pretty good. Whoops. Zach Hayes, Spider-Man Homecoming wasn't too bad. Best one since Spider-Man 2. That's good to hear. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Spider-Man Homecoming. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know about Spider-Man. I've seen so many of those. I don't know if I want to watch another one. We'll see, though. Jackie. Henry, have you seen the trailer for Call Me By Your Name? It's getting a lot of praise from critics, and I'm looking forward to the soundtrack by Sufjan Stevens, who is one of my favorite musicians. That is Call Me By Your Name. That is... Who is the director on that one? Luca Guadagnino, I think is that the right one? I haven't seen the trailer for it, but I will try to make sure I check that out. Yeah, I've only seen one. If I'm thinking of the right movie, I'm pretty sure it's a Luca Guadagnino movie. I've only seen one of his movies, the Tilda Swinton one, I Am Love, which was very good. I saw that in theaters at Ebert Fest, no less, with Roger Ebert in one of the rows behind me. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I haven't seen any of his other films since then, so I would like to check out some of his other work. Hopefully I'm thinking of the right movie. But yeah, I'll try to make sure I watch the trailer for that. Volsticks, yes, talking about one of the most brutally violent scenes in Bone Tomahawk. It's harsh. Be very warned. Anybody who watches Bone Tomahawk, it's ridiculously violent. So just keep that in mind. If you're squeamish, if you're sensitive to violence, Bone Tomahawk is brutal. So just know that before you go into it. Andy Moe, have you heard about Movie Pass? That is the thing where you pay like $10 a month, right? And you can go see any movie or as many movies as you want in theaters. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, if I'm thinking of the right thing, I have heard of Movie Pass. Yeah, I know Felix has it, and I think my brother just got it too. So they're seeing stuff. I think they just saw The Foreigner, the Jackie Chan one. I don't think they liked it too much. But hey, Movie Pass. Get to see it for free, sort of. But yeah, it sounds like a cool service. I'm sure in a place like Portland where you actually get like a pretty good selection in the theaters, that'd be a handy thing to have. And Sasha, I'd like to know your feelings on Look Up once you've seen it. Yeah, I'll try to make sure I give that a watch. Look Up, it's written down. Borg versus McEnroe. Cinnamon Sand says, avoid Borg versus McEnroe. There's a lot of tennis movies coming out lately. There's that one, yeah, with Shia LaBeouf, and there's Battle of the Sexes, which I think is getting ready to open. I've heard Battle of the Sexes is pretty good. Sounds like Cinnamon Sand did not enjoy Borg versus McEnroe so much. It's weird how like there's like a kind of movie that like almost never happens, and then like one year just a ton of movies all centered around that subject will get released. You know, like thrillers set at the White House. You got Olympus Has Fallen and White House Down in the same year. I remember because Felix and I just did the Mega Movie Monday on American Werewolf in London. It was like a big thing in 1981, I think, or 82. Like no werewolf movies had been made in years. And then suddenly, all in one year, there's The Howling, American Werewolf in London, and Wolfen, the Albert Finney movie, all in the same year. And then, yeah, now it's tennis. For some reason, it's tennis. And then before, it was like apocalyptic movies like 2012 and gosh, I don't even remember what else. But it's just funny how that happens sometimes. You know, you get kind of a small collection of movies that all kind of seem to be centered around the same subject. I don't know if it's purposeful or if it's coincidental, but it's kind of weird how serendipity happens like that. Oh, The Exorcist commentary happening on the 28th of October. Okay, noted. Let's see. What else we got? Some talk about Wonder Woman. I'll withhold my opinion on. I'll withhold thoughts on Wonder Woman until I've actually seen it, which I'm sure I probably will eventually. Oh, Sasha, you like the American Werewolf in London video? Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. But I think that's about it. So yeah, we'll see what comes up next week. Hopefully, you'll all be there to join me. Hopefully, you all enjoyed this week. And yeah, we got an interview coming up, Unmade Masterpieces, hopefully within this month, I'm hoping. And yeah, more Henry Recommends videos. Those, yeah, I can do those pretty quickly and easily. Sounds like people are enjoying them. I'm going to make more, maybe post another one tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining me. Hope you had a good time. Check out The Big Sick. Give Gerald's game a look if it sounds interesting to you. And yeah, until next week, I'll see you then. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Like my social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. I think I'm DisRegarding H everywhere. I'm trying to post more stuff on social media, trying to utilize that platform a bit more effectively. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos. And until I see you next time, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, watch some good movies. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.